Welcome back to your favorite grooming podcast, Another Grooming Podcast. I'm Nathan Austin.
I'm Kathleen Austin.
I'm Juan Rivera.
And I'm Kat Graney.
And we're back for another episode. So I want to start off by saying thank you to Aeolus, our sponsor. Thank you, Aeolus.
Thank you, Aeolus.
Thank you.
And on this episode, we're going to start off with some Get Deep and some Get Deep questions. Then we're going to go into some dog noises or salon noises. Try to guess some of those. Kat has a bunch for us.
And no one else knows.
Yeah, that the three of us get to guess at. And Juan and Ronnie have been...
Juan and Ronnie.
Ronnie. I wish.
Katie and Juan have been doing a lot of reading lately, so they're going to talk about the books they've been reading, and hopefully you guys can read or give some suggestions what they could read next.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to say some like crazy story. I'm always saying some crazy stuff, so I thought I might make it a segment. Like, I don't know. I haven't decided
Nathan's crazy stories.
what I wanted it to be about today. But then after that, we're going to talk about some weird stuff customers do. That's what we'll finish it off on, something light and funny.
Yeah.
After the trauma of my stories.
I
You should
swear
also thank our sponsor.
you tell stories, and sometimes I'm like, this can't be real life. Like, is this really how some people exist?
Nathan.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And let's get into those
Get
deep
deeps.
cards.
Get deep. So deep.
Put her ass to sleep.
I was waiting for somebody to finish.
Oh, that's a song?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can
Oh,
read
look,
it.
somebody just sent this to the podcast. Look.
Oh, wow, that's super cool.
Like,
should-
literally just sent it in right now. Look.
You should share it with Ronnie.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
So-
so the question is,
Well, I just wanted to say this was somebody who wrote a review that we read on the podcast that was released on March 31st. And she said she's competing in her first salon creative competition today at
wow.
the St.
I
Louis
just saw it in
Groom
the picture.
Fest. So, and she said she did Star Wars Revenge of the Sith because of the 20th anniversary.
Nice.
I was going to say, it's Star Wars. You love it.
Well, good luck,
You
right?
like
They
those.
haven't done awards yet, so good luck.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so the get deep, the get deep card is name a song that always gets you pumped up.
I'm terrible at naming names.
Good day, by Ice Cube. Today was a good day by Ice Cube. Always gets me going.
That's a
You
good
know
one.
that one, right?
Yeah.
I think so,
Today
yeah.
was a good day.
Are you looking
Oh,
for
yeah,
a song
yeah.
name?
Yeah, I was going to say...
I
okay,
never
the
remember
artist.
song names. Like, I'm terrible at song names.
Same. I never remember them.
Okay, also 21 Savage gets me going. He's like gangster rap, so like gets me all pumped up.
Mm. True.
My song that always gets me pumped up, which is kind of weird, it's Finally by CC Peniston.
Mm.
It's the one that starts like, it's a finally, it's happening to
Oh, yeah.
me right in front of
Oh,
my
yeah,
face.
yeah, yeah.
And it dates me. It ages me quite a bit. But every single time I hear that song, I like immediately just like,
Okay, there's an
Groove.
old EDM song that gets me going, and it's Better Off Alone.
oh,
So
Yeah.
you think you're better off alone? That shit
Mhm.
always makes me dance and shit.
yeah.
But
I
right
don't-
now, like the new songs, like Nokia. I know it's Drake, and he's kind of canceled.
It is.
But
It is a good song.
That
though.
song is so catchy.
Well, I was gonna say. I mean, like for me, like you could put on probably any like Ariana Grande. It's gonna get me
Mhm.
pumped. Sabrina Carpenter, The Weeknd. He gets me pretty pumped.
You know what's been getting every time it comes on the radio, Ed? It's probably not the Pink Pony Club. Every time I
Oh,
hear that,
Pony
I'm
Club,
just
yeah.
like, I always have to like belt it out loud if I'm alone in
Oh
the car.
no, you know
That's a
who
banger.
else? Doechii.
Oh,
Her
Doechii has some
like
good-
the anxiety definitely, and what was the last one? That one was really.
The Nile is a River.
Yes.
I'm obsessed with that
Oh
song.
my god.
It's a really good album to put on when you're working out, like when you go to the gym and you just put it in.
yeah.
So good.
Hmm.
That gets me pumped.
Mhm.
I like Doechii a lot. Yeah. So, but I'm really easy. I can listen to anything. I like music.
I'm going to answer for Ronnie as well. I know his answer is Break Free by Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
It's like, like right when that, he's like, he like immediately just, yeah, he loves it.
I want to go to an Ariana Grande concert with him. I think we'd have so much fun. I love her.
He will not go to see her unless he's front row, because we did it once. And he's like, I'm never gonna not see her this way ever again. I was like,
I
well,
get it, though.
concert tickets now.
I get it,
You're
though.
never
Especially
gonna see
now,
her
yeah.
ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if we ever win tickets,
Yeah.
I'll, like we'll go.
Ugh, I would love
I'm gonna
it.
dress up because I also just I would go all out.
She puts on a really good show. She was in San Jose, and then for like her normal tour, and then she like did additional dates, and she was at the Shoreline, and we went to go see it again because it was
Nice.
so good. We sat in the lawn at that time. It was such a good show. You'll love
Was
it.
that before or after the front row?
That was after the front row.
so-
I know. So he
he's
lied.
willing.
So he literally lied to my face,
He's
and I just realized
willing.
right now. Thank you, Kat.
You're
So,
welcome.
I was thinking the same thing because you were like, and then we went
And
to
then we went to-
Shoreline and we sat on the lawn.
On the
and
lawn. You're right.
I wasn't gonna call you out.
Have
Oh my
you
God.
have
Does
you
my
heard
husband
of,
deceive me?
have you heard about the Katy Perry concert and it was like being really bad choreographed and they're just like walking around like
They're like, you're not Taylor Swift.
You know, as the resident gay in the room, I feel like pop girls should not try to dance if they cannot dance. Like just sing.
Just be chill. It's
Have your
fine.
dancers make a spectacle, right, of the whole thing, but don't try to dance, girl. It's okay. It's okay.
I would just embarrass myself.
Yeah, I
Like
can't dance.
absolutely.
you can dance.
Not like that though.
Like that you can.
Oh, that song too.
Oh,
You can
like
Better
dance.
than that. Better than that.
Like that I can, yeah. Okay, but I can't dance like well. So
Well, you know, Defying Gravity also gets me.
yeah.
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 I don't but I get teary. That doesn't like
Okay, I don't get teary from that.
that's not like a pump me up. It's like a like very emotional. I get very emotional.
Well, pumped up in a different way. I like
guess.
emotional songs that really.
Yeah.
Pump up the sadness.
Good question. All
One
right.
more?
One
Okay.
more, yeah.
Okay. Name a food. Name a food that tastes better when you eat it right out of the jar.
A pickle.
I would say a pickle.
Yeah, like that's the only answer.
As it,
Is it?
Yes.
what else?
I mean,
comes
I
in a-
guess you could say peanut butter or but
No,
like
it's not as good.
Jam.
but I
Pe-
like
that's better
peanut
on the
butter.
sandwich.
Yeah,
Kimchi?
I like it together.
No, better in the soup or on the side.
Yeah. You eat it with things.
I say pickles are the only answer. Pickled something.
Pickled anything really because you know like the pickled cauliflower.
You look so
the-
lost.
I'm just
over
trying to think
there.
of like what else comes in a jar that I eat like
Oh, yeah,
regularly.
you're not really a pickle person, right?
I know I love pickles.
Oh, you like pickles.
I don't.
Who doesn't like
but
pickles?
I eat them as like on the side of the sandwich. I like never. We don't keep pickles at home. Which is that weird?
No, I mean
I mean, if you like
We-
pickles, it's weird.
I do like pickles. I
We
just never
keep
like.
pickles. And it's weird.
I want a pickle. I'm gonna go grab one.
we
Yeah.
See,
we
but it's
eat
good,
pickles,
but
we don't.
They're really
like,
low calorie and they're like, you can get
and they're good for your gut health because they're.
so maybe you should
pickled,
have pickles.
Maybe I should.
right?
I like
Funny-
the little ones.
Yeah, funny story. Okay, well, a lot of people are gonna judge me on this, but I only like sweet pickles.
Yeah, it's
But
totally ridiculous.
When I was a
That's
kid,
totally
I used to
ridiculous.
cut up pickles from a jar and put them in a bowl and say it was a pickled salad
Oh my
and eat
god.
them with a fork. But I would just eat straight pickles. Yeah. I love
How do they
pickles.
make them sweet? I wonder. Is it they just put sugar in it?
Olives too. I like to eat
Oh,
olives
olives,
straight out of the like
I don't know how. They
Yeah,
make
but
them
olives
sweet.
don't come in a. Oh, they come in a jar, I guess.
kind of
Can jar.
can jar.
It
same
said jar,
difference.
not can.
They can come in jars.
Yeah, they come in jars, especially the green ones. with the
Yeah,
red
I've seen
pits.
green.
I don't like the green ones.
Oh, Ronnie gets jars of those pickles, but they're stuffed with something too on the ends. Or not pickles, sorry.
Olives.
Olives.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're stuffed with like cheese, sometimes peppers, sometimes other things.
That's something
Ronnie's
you eat
answer.
right out of the jar. I mean, they're pickled technically, but those little peppers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the pickled peppers, but
Pickled peppers.
I didn't. Those
Peter
that's
pepper.
pretty niche, and they're pickled. So like I was like, oh, that falls in the line of pickles.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Yeah. What a
Somebody-
great question.
somebody's
Nathan.
gonna
yeah,
be
that
like,
was crappy. That was
somebody's-
pickled only.
Somebody's gonna be like Vienna sausages,
But that's
or
a
like
can.
or fishes, or
Yeah, true. That's a can.
Funny story. We were at a
I
dog
know,
show.
but there might be that they might come in jars just because they also come
Okay,
in
one more. Let's do one
cans.
more because
Okay,
that
but
doesn't satisfy
thing
me.
about we forgot our bait at home our last dog show, and
Oh, yeah.
I went to the gas station right by the show, and I got Vienna sausage. Lumi loved them. I was like, there was like nothing else.
Okay, this one's kind of weird. Which emotion do you experience the most during the day?
Anxiety.
I
Shout
was
out
gonna
Dochi.
say, yeah, I don't know if I have a good answer to that one.
Anxiety definitely for me.
I think it might be like a tie of like
Did some
anxiety and love.
Yeah.
As Nathan's tapping his foot.
A tie.
The most? Like the majority of the day?
Yeah, like the most.
Yeah.
Which
Which one do you,
experience do you experience most during the day?
what emotion?
Emotion. Sorry.
I mean, probably anxiety because it's a symptom of my overthinking.
Uh-huh.
Same.
That's why I was like, I'm gonna say it's a tie because I don't want us to all say anxiety.
Yeah.
Because even
Adulting.
Maybe impatience.
Mm.
Mhm.
Because
That is a big one. Yeah.
if like
Which triggers the anxiety.
if a client is not 5 minutes early, I'm like, where are they?
Are you going to cancel their appointment like the nail tech one?
That's it.
No, but it's like I always like I am impatient. I'm impatient. Yeah.
All right, Nathan, what about you?
I don't know because I don't like. I'm very in the moment when I'm doing things.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe satisfaction, maybe because like I'm grooming dogs most of the time, and I'm just thinking about what I'm doing, and I'm like scissoring. So I'm not upset, but I'm not like happy. I'm just like, what is in the middle of that?
Indifferent.
Yeah, just like indifference, just working, and then I'm happy with what I'm doing at the time. Like when I finish the dog, I'm like, oh,
Content.
good. Yeah.
Contentment.
Yeah,
Content is
content.
your most
Yeah,
emotion.
because I'm like, oh, I finished this dog, hooray! And then I'm like, what dog do I have next? And that's like how my brain goes. And I'm like, oh, now
I wish that I worked
I
like
wish
that.
I talk about anxiety. I sit there the whole time saying, how much is the client going to hate this haircut?
When I say anxiety, it's not like about grooming or about the haircut, or it's
just
about
life.
like it's just like
Yeah.
my brain. Like I feel like. Yeah.
Well, I told Nathan like the thing I've been struggling with a lot lately is thinking about my breathing too much. So like I'm just like grooming, thinking about my breathing because I think like
How much hair
you
you're
can
breathing
kind
in?
of go because you can kind of go on autopilot grooming. So then you just start thinking, and then I start overthinking, and then I start manual breathing where you have to think about your breathing, and then I'm like, you're breathing out too long. Breathe in. And then like I just start getting anxiety about my breathing, which is a really dumb thing because your body just does it.
Yeah.
And then that like spirals.
your body obviously doesn't.
Yeah, apparently it doesn't. And so
You're like, if I fall asleep, am I gonna die?
no, I don't even think
Am
that.
I gonna stop breathing when I sleep?
I
No.
literally do, it's not even like that. It's just like then I start breathing manually and I can't go back.
I understand. I forget. I think I forget to breathe sometimes,
And then
I have to think about breathing because I stopped for a minute.
But it's I
Can
think
you forget to breathe?
I forget that I'm driving sometimes.
that yeah. I don't think you forget to breathe because your body is going to do it, but then I'm just so focused on that. I think because I have so much anxiety
No,
and
I'm
like
thinking about it.
stress
I know.
that
Yeah.
Well,
There's
Nathan
a
will
lot of
sometimes
people
will
listen.
randomly be like, he'll be like, you're breathing manually right now or something.
Yeah, I'll be like, I cast manual breathing, and then just to mess with people.
But like I'll start going over all the lists, the mountains of lists of things that I have to do, and I can't do them because I'm grooming.
And breathing.
And then and so then I'm like, as I'm doing that, and then I realize I'm breathing probably erratically because
Hey, well,
I'm
think of the huge
stressed.
list of stuff we got to do
I
tomorrow.
know. And so yeah, and then I start manual breathing, and then I'm like hyperventilating myself, you know.
You know, recently a couple times I have like realized I'm all out of breath all of a sudden, and I'll be like scissoring something, and I think I'm holding my breath as
Well,
I'm
that's
doing
what
it.
I said. I
And
hold my
suddenly I'll
breath.
be like, and I'll have to like, and I'm like out of breath. Like, what the hell?
I do that a lot.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I am grateful though. I feel like Nathan's so good at reading my emotions now that like he'll be like, "Hey, snap out of it. You're being weird right now." And I'll be like, "I literally didn't say a single word." And he's like, "I can see the look on your face. Stop."
He's not
Being
alone.
weird.
We can all see it.
Do you ever?
She just like blinks out sometimes.
I think this is a gay reference, but when you said snap out of it, I thought of Cher going, snap out of it.
But now I will.
Stop.
Maybe it's a
aging
gay
us.
reference. I don't get it. But
Snap
like,
out of it. Yeah. That's my Cher impression, by the way.
Yeah.
that's
so-
pretty good.
Also paranoia. I have a lot of paranoia.
That sucks. Not me.
Like think people are talking.
I'm
Must
like,
be
wow,
nice,
I just
Nathan.
scissored this foot.
Must be nice.
This
Every-
foot came out round.
Every time Katie and
Wow, I
Katie
hope
and
the next
Nathan
foot-
leave the room together, I think they're talking shit about me and how awful I am.
Wow. Imagine living life like that. That sucks, Kat.
I know.
We've been your friends for like 20 years.
But still, there's more shit to talk about.
There's always
She's
shit
like-
to talk about, but
Yeah, well, like you're like I don't like being on the van, and then we're like, all right, we're taking you off the van. And she's like, I feel like I'm doing something wrong.
she's like, "What have I done?" And I'm like, "You hate the van. I'm trying to
I'm
make
like,
you happy, bro."
yeah, we're like
But I
trying to
do
do
feel
what
like I
you
did
want to
something
do.
So I'm like dissecting why I have anxiety.
Uh-huh. Tell
And
us.
I
me.
think
Tell us.
I think that because I wear my Apple Watch
Uh-huh.
and I get all the text messages that come in
Yeah.
and I read it. And then I go to groom and I'm like, oh, I need to text them back. I need to text them back. What am I going to? And then I'm like, oh, I need to text them back. And then I'm just thinking, oh, and then it's like, then I go into like, oh my God, I still have to do this. I still have to do this.
Spiral.
Oh yeah, that person texted me. I have to text them back. And then it just kind of like So maybe if I
Snowballs.
reply to the messages right away,
So
maybe
that
that's
is
my
something.
trigger.
That
That's
is
how
something
my
I
brain
learned
works,
communicating with you. Is because sometimes you just like I'm always like either answer right now or like I'm like what the fuck. I'll message a question mark. I'm that type of person where like. So now I'll message you and I'll be like, I just gotta chill.
Yeah.
I'm like he'll message me sometime tonight or tomorrow morning. Or something.
If I'm like not in the middle of grooming a dog, I will answer right away. But if in the middle of grooming a dog, I was like, oh, I'll answer it later, and then I start working, and I just.
Oh, okay. See, I'm the opposite though. I'll see a message and then I'll be like, that's going to require more than a 2-second answer. So I'm going to get to it when I have time. And then I just start feeling overwhelmed. And then I'm like, I have so many messages to answer. And then the more overwhelmed I get, the less I can answer because I'm feeling so bogged down about it. But then all I can think about while I'm grooming is all the messages I need to answer that I now feel too overwhelmed to answer.
You wonder why Nathan's so happy all the time is because he just don't give a crap.
With all the
He
worries
just
over
doesn't
here.
think about it. I do.
Well, literally, I will like. So there's something that I've noticed. I've learned a lot about my like ADHD is like if it's not in front of me, or if I'm not thinking about it, it just doesn't exist. You know,
That'd be
like that's why I
nice.
have to answer messages, or if somebody texts me right away, because like I'll just won't think about it. It'll just will not. It once it's out of my attention, it's like bloop, just disappears.
And just when no one texts me back, I think they hate me.
But that is one of the bad things because I've had several people, even family members, come to me and be like,
Yeah, they get really
dude, you don't
upset.
message me, you don't call me, and I'm like, I'm
Not doing it on purpose to hurt your feelings.
I'm not doing it on purpose. I just don't think like
remember.
and that's kind of fucked up to say, but like I just don't
But that
think
is
about you. Like
a
you just
very common ADHD thing, though, because
What is it
I
called?
can,
Objects permanence.
yeah, because I can be like that. Like when I'm
it has
traveling,
screwed up a lot of my family relationship.
when
Actually, I
I'm
think we're
traveling and away
cousins.
from the kids, I'm not usually
Nathan,
sitting
you
around
need
thinking
Jeff,
of my
Katie.
kids the whole time. I'm like in the moment. And then like maybe late at night, I'll be like, oh yeah, we got to call the kids, you know, like, so I can be like that. But I think because I have so many responsibilities that I am always thinking about those things. But I am not great about keeping in contact with people. That's probably like the first to slip.
Well, I think my core group of people I'm around now, I have a good handle on. Like
Yeah. Well, that's
everyone from the
different.
podcast, all you from the podcast, and then the kids, I have like a good. Everybody else is just like,
I still message Katie if I have a question for you.
Yeah. But I think that's different, right? Because like if I'm watching a video and I'm like, like these guys, I'm like, Juan will like that, or, you know, or Kat will like that video, or, you know, but like I'm terrible about messaging. Like I never talk to my dad.
I'm a horrible texter. I'm sorry. And DMer and yeah.
I often forget them. I read them. I'm one of those people who reads something and then forgets until like 3 days later. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm the person.
And then
thinks
it's
they hate
embarrassing
me.
to reply to something they asked like
Like,
a
I'm so
week ago. And it's like,
sorry.
should I even bother anymore?
Yeah.
I always do. And I say, I'm so sorry. I've even messaged people back for Nathan like months later and been like, I'm so sorry. I like, and I've told people too, like, if you have a question for one of us, bug us, you know, like don't message me the once. And then it like, if you see I saw it and I didn't respond, like, oh no, they didn't want to respond. Like I do want to respond, but bug me about it. Keep sending me messages, harass me because like I will forget. Or like I said, I get really overwhelmed and I want to answer, but I am so bogged down by how many messages I need to go through and answer that require more than a couple words that I struggle. But the more somebody bugs, the more I'm likely to get to that person.
yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Or maybe don't bug me too much.
What was the question?
What feeling we feel throughout the day. We started talking about anxiety
Was this
quite a bit.
Was this
Anxiety.
depressing? Let's get
I
to
think
let's
that's a
get to
normal
the dog
human-
noises.
Some noises, guys.
Thanks again to Aeolus for sponsoring this episode.
So the deal that Aeolus has for the month of May is really exciting, actually, because it's going to be a table.
Ooh.
So it's an electric lift table. It's the one of the X ones, the X formation, instead of the. I know they have like accordion. This one's X, and so it comes in blue or black. So,
Oh, those happen to
Oh my
be
God, are those
AGP
AGP colors?
Oh
Oh my God.
Oh, what amazing colors those are. Anyway, it's going to be on sale for the whole month of May for $8.99. So you should have about 2 more weeks to get in on that deal if you're wanting it. The tabletop itself is 48 by 28. The table goes down all the way to 10 inches off the ground, and it goes up as high as 41 inches. It does come with an arm that goes all the way across. So it's got one arm on each side and it attaches at the top. So you can flip your dogs around if you have,
Yeah, great for smaller salons if you're against the wall, especially.
Yeah, if you have a tighter space, that's really nice. So
I always turn my dog. I never walk around the table. I always turn the dog.
I'm so used to walking around the table that's what I always do. But sometimes if I'm doing a dog and I can't see as well, I find the light, then I'll flip the dog around. But I think it just depends on preference.
I think we're also just used to that,
Yeah.
Yes, we're very used to that.
We've always had just the one-sided bar.
Yeah. So anyway, that deal is going to be for the whole month of May. Really, really cool product. We're actually looking at getting a new table ourselves, so I'm going to have to look and see if that'll be a good table for us or not. I know they have a few, but this one specifically is on sale for the month of May.
Yeah, we should grab that one. Save us a couple bucks because we're dumping a lot of money into this new salon we're opening.
Yeah. So
Well, it's great colors if I do say so myself. So.
Great colors, and I like the adjustable height. 10 inches is pretty low for a table for big dogs, and it's a nice big surface area. And
Yeah. And 41 inches is very tall for a grooming table.
Yeah.
When I was shopping for grooming tables, most of them are mid 30s.
Yeah.
So for the fact that it goes 41 inches,
Yeah.
Well, I think
perfect for the tall people.
I think your Aeolus table that you have at home goes to 49 inches, right? So you're real. I mean,
I'm 6'4".
I was going to say, does it when it's at its tallest setting at 49 inches, is it can you still groom a dog on that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is it way
It
high?
only goes that tall for the tiny dogs.
Right.
So it's perfect.
Like a tiny little Yorkie.
Yeah, like a Yorkie, like
Yeah.
a Maltese.
So 41 inches is probably totally fine for your average
taller
heighted
than-
individual.
I'm
Yeah.
a beast.
Most.
I am a beast.
Yeah. Taller than most tables.
Yeah, taller
Yeah.
than most tables. So I definitely think that it, especially if you are somebody who's taller, it would be a really great deal for you. So
Awesome.
awesome. Well, thank you so much, Aeolus.
Thank you.
you. You ready?
Let's get to the noises.
Okay, this first one is not really in the salon, but
Okay.
I wanted to see if you can. Hold on, I'm gonna turn my volume up. If you can tell me what it is. Ready?
Ready.
Oh shit!
You're not. Cat laughing.
You gotta hold it to the top of the mic right here. Not the side. Well, that's cat laughing.
Okay,
No, but
you're right.
the original noise.
Do I have to guess the breed or just
No, just what is it?
that? Okay, that sounds, and maybe because it's fresh in my mind, but that sounds like a dog that's very excited for Fast Cat.
It is. It's Disa.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
I was gonna say it's a little.
Video.
Was it for Fast Cat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was a little squeaker toy dog.
No,
the little.
Listen.
Yeah.
Oh, Disa.
Yeah, because that's what you hear in line from all the doggies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just thought it was
is-
so funny the way she was squeaking. I was like, I want to do that one.
Well, she's normally not very high pitched like that. Hearing her, we took her to Fast Cat for the first time, and she's very tough dog, and she barks at our neighbors and stuff, but it's not high pitched.
No.
And so when we walked to the Fast Cat and she saw it zip by the first time, she was hook, line, and sinker. And I've never heard she started doing that bark, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Well, this is while she was actively running. This when
That was when she was running.
we took her. This is when we took her. So when Katie wasn't there, the day after.
Oh, that's why it's familiar because I was there.
Yeah.
Duh. Okay.
Yeah, that's while she's actively chasing the bag.
That's so funny.
We
What a
should share
wild
that. We
child.
should share that on the story.
Okay,
We got to make a note about it. Yeah,
Make
that's a
note.
cute one. It's fun to see the Lascottis run so fast because they're tiny
Their
legs.
little legs, yeah.
Well, if nobody has beaten her off that one weekend, she'll be 5th in the country. So And that was just off her very first weekend ever doing it. So
she really likes it.
Yeah. All my
Willow
Scotties
really
like
likes
it.
Fast
Yeah,
Cat.
Willow too.
Yeah.
She got her little bee cat.
cute.
Her little bee cat title.
Yeah, she finished in one.
cute.
in
That's
few days.
super cute. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had brought Disa because she only needed one more run to get hers.
Mhm.
So, but I only brought her the 2 days.
Okay, you
I'm
ready?
obsessed. Yeah. Good.
Ready.
It's too consistent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
It's
5
too
seconds
consistent
in,
to be manual, whatever it is.
I was gonna say it in the beginning. It sounded like you were cutting fabric with like pinking shears, but then it like went on for too long. And I was
Okay,
like,
we
okay, that
all,
can't-
we all
can't be
gotta
it.
have a turn guessing first.
Okay, that was my guess. Oh, well, do it again.
Katie.
You want to listen again?
Okay, what did you think?
No, I'm still thinking because I don't know what is I'm trying
Okay,
to
let
think
me
of
go
what
then.
would be consistent in the salon to make that noise.
I think it's like an old dog breathing with like a collapse with like trachea issues or something.
No.
Yeah.
You
Is
want me to play it
it
again?
the fan on the kennel dryer?
No.
I thought maybe it was like.
All right, let
the-
us hear it one more time.
Wasn't it?
Damn, I have no idea.
The thing for me is it's just so consistent. I would think.
Do you want a hint?
I did think it was scissors,
Yeah.
but I feel like they're hard to open and close, the pinking scissors. So I feel like it was way too fast and consistent. Because even if she was doing it, she would have like slowed down
and it's not
or
brushing
sped
because
up.
it's just too long.
It's too consistent.
Do you want a hint?
Sure.
I don't do it often,
That's
and it
I
wasn't
don't
my
do
dog.
it often. The fuck kind of hint was that?
is it stripping?
Yeah.
Oh,
stripping a blown border.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't mechanical, but you did a really good job of doing that consistently
Yeah.
because it was so consistent.
It was hard to record it that close to the dog and strip at the same time.
I got it though.
Okay.
Good one. That was a good one.
hmm
Fooled us all.
I got it in the end. Okay, I wasn't fooled.
Sound like you might have been cutting coat.
Maybe.
Sound like you might have been cutting.
Scott Wasserman's gonna pop up. Sounds like you were cutting.
I don't
coat.
do it often. It was your guys' dog, and I was just starting to strip it. It was a blown border.
Okay, I know what that is.
All right, go then.
I think that is one of those little ear cleaner pump things, and you're like squishing the cotton ball on top of it to make it give you the ear cleaner.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Good job.
Yay for me!
Good job, Point Nathan.
I don't even remember
so.
what this one is. Hold on.
I thought maybe a spray bottle, but
I was
then
thinking like an empty spray bottle.
Yeah, but then I like wasn't sure. I was like, it doesn't sound quite right. So good one. Nail clippers?
Yeah, nail clippers. I
Oh.
I couldn't hold the phone and clip them at the same time, so I set it on the table.
Was it big nails?
Yeah, they were
I was gonna
They
say it
sounded
sounded
big.
like
Nails.
huge nails. They
big
were,
nail clippers.
Did a dog eat them?
Ew.
Oh, your dog was there probably. Okay, this is the last one, and you might judge me.
Well, it's a clipper.
You need to oil your blades, girl.
But what is? Listen closely. It is a clipper. But what was I doing to it?
Oiling it?
Were you cleaning your blades?
Yeah, I was spraying it, trying to get it
yeah.
not to sound like that.
Mm. Do it again.
Yeah. That was the one that was probably super hard, huh?
Yeah, I had it just sit on the table.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I can hear it.
I hear that. Yeah.
I was trying, but the blade kept drowning out the sound. But the last time we had our blade sharpened, he like tightened it way too tight, and
Well, we had one of the traveling sharpeners come.
we
not
had
the
never
ones,
used him.
Not the ones in the van, because those ones are one thing. But the guys that go like up and down the state,
Oh,
or
uh-huh.
like, so like you can't be like, hey, fix my stuff. They're like, oh, I'm in Southern California now or wherever.
Mm-hmm.
But like he tightened some stuff. So yeah, her stuff's so tight. Like with your finger, I couldn't move the
You
cutter.
can't move the cutter at all.
The cutter was so tightened down that I could barely move it with my hands.
And then he sharpened my shears too. And then we had another guy come out who is a master sharpener. And
Very
he's
cool.
like, they put the wrong edge on these shears. If it happens again, I have to charge you an extra $20.
You're
So
like, okay,
don't do that
I
again.
Won't be
He's
going
like, I'm a
anywhere
master
else.
sharpener. And I'm like, oh, well, we're master groomers. So,
Cool beans.
And then you
yeah. And then we shook hands.
Or did you go like this?
We scissored.
get it?
Wow, we're so punny. Anyway,
Our
okay.
groomer Drake though is the punniest guy I know.
He's
He's
very punny.
He's very punny.
Yeah. He's 21 and he's got dad jokes on lock. It's
Yeah.
upsetting.
Yeah, he is. Well, I just like when we say anything in the salon and then he's like, pause.
Yeah.
That's his favorite thing. Like,
And then with a raised eyebrow.
pause. Like if we say anything that might be construed as in like a weird way, he's like, pause.
Every time.
And then we're like,
We work
Okay.
with the most guys I think I've ever worked with. So it's,
Yeah,
kinda,
for
it's
sure.
fun. It's fun to be
actually
around
fun.
other guys.
I do actually really enjoy it because we have Nathan, Drake, and Zach and Casey. And so like it is a lot of guys, but it's a lot of
That's the most
I
guys
do
I've ever
enjoy
worked
it
with, yeah.
actually.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in like my early like adulthood and stuff, I was very girlfriend centered.
Right.
And the older I get, I've been acquiring
A taste for men.
More male friends, and it's like a different kind of friendship that I really enjoy. I don't know if it was just like I was just too nervous to like have male
Right.
friends, like straight male friends,
Yeah.
Well,
when I was younger because I like wanted to hide
assume-
things.
One, I assume you're probably worried, like when you were
Other
younger,
people are
like,
gonna
oh my
see.
God, what if they think I'm attracted to them or I'm
Yeah.
hitting on them and I don't want to make them feel
Yeah.
weird. And now you are just yourself.
Yeah, and then it's like yes, I'm gay, but I'm a dude.
Yeah.
And these dudes are dudes, and we just
Dude.
like
I'm a man.
we just like get it. You know, it's different.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Nathan,
Are they straight?
He's all, that's it. I'm gonna
he's
fight
gonna
him.
fight him for the
The fight for,
For the
a straight
top man.
Top
straight
male.
top
up.
male
Top
straight
straight male.
man friend.
Battle it out. Battle the streets.
That's
Although
just
I
called
think
life.
Although I keep my shears.
What a man thought process. He's like,
Oh, guess
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna have to
fight
fight now.
him. God.
Oh.
Actually, there's one friend that I think you and him would get along like really well.
So like, oh, good.
Yeah.
So I don't have to fight.
You don't have to fight.
It is funny. That's how my mind goes a lot. Like we're in line to reserve a Switch 2, right? Because I tried to do it online, sold out in minutes. So I'm like, all right, we go to this GameStop, right? And there's 30 people in line, and this guy goes, who's farther ahead, he goes, they said they have 40 Switches here. And I'm like, right on. I'm gonna get one as long as we can't move these spots, right? The first guy goes in. He's in there for 6 minutes. I remember I timed it because I'm like, what the hell is taking so long? Because we were there right at opening. He comes out and he holds up his receipt and he goes, I bought all the Switches. I guess you guys can go home. And my first thought was like, I guess I said
guess
it
I'm
out
gonna-
loud. I go, I guess we're going to fight then. And and he's like, oh, I'm just playing. And he like,
Okay.
they only let you get one at a time. But like my first thought was like, I guess we're going to go then because like there's like 50 people here now.
Yeah.
And you're just going to come out like that? Like you're going to get
Buy
attacked
all
for
of
sure.
them.
Yeah.
Not cool. The
Yeah.
scalpers who
It
buy
was funny.
hella,
It was funny though.
not cool.
I'm glad they put a limit on him.
Yeah.
Well, like
Not like online.
they don't
No.
though. So then it sucks because scalpers just buy hell of them and then upcharge them. But it's like, I mean, obviously Nathan's an adult, but like kids want these things, and we're just gonna like, come on.
Were
be
there any kids in
cool.
the line?
There was, but they were like toddlers.
Yeah, but a kid's not going
It
to
was
get in
on-
line in the middle of the day
I was
during
gonna
the
say it
school
was
day.
a Thursday at noon, so we did reserve one for Owen because they literally come out the day before his birthday, and he said he'd pay for half of it, so he's saving up his allowance to pay for half.
It's
Can't say
Okay, so they're not
$450
out
though.
yet. That was just to get reserved.
That
one?
was just
Yeah.
to reserve
Yeah,
it.
it's $450, and I was like, I'm gonna buy one because I'm a grown man and I like
I
video
deserve
games.
it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it just felt wrong to be like, I'm buying one and I'm not getting one for you. You know,
and it's
he's
coming out the
my
day before
11
your birthday.
my 11-year-old son, so I'm like, all right, dude, I guess.
Well, he said he'd pay for half, and he's very responsible. So
Yes.
What's curious? What is the longest any of you have stood in line for something?
Mm.
In Best
Like,
Buy,
Are you
we
like
stayed in line
Black
for a
Friday
day and
Best Buy?
I think a day and a half.
My.
We got in line at Best Buy for a 65-inch TV for like $300. I think we're in line. Yeah, I think we were in line like 48 hours. We had the chairs and the blankets.
No. Remember, we got in line. We stayed in line. We were in line for like hours, and we were like, oh, we're all gonna trade. Like me, you, and my dad and my brother were like, we're all gonna just like take turns and trade and stuff, right? And like we were like, we'll have sleeping bags and yada yada. And then you were like, hey, why don't you guys stay in line? To my dad and my brother, we'll go inside and like look around. And then we talked to somebody, and he was like, you know what? This TV is already on sale, and it's a better deal. And then we bought that and left.
Yeah, it was like
So
it was a Sony Bravia.
We didn't stay.
It was a Sony Bravia, but that was going to be on super sale. But the one that was better than that, like the next one up, was going to be on sale right then for $100 more, and it was the better TV, bigger.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, you know what?
So we're like, stay for 2 days and buy the cheaper one, or just spend an extra $100 and leave now. And we're like, peace.
Yeah. I have been at Walmart one time though when they like it was a fight. You know, like have you guys ever been there where it's like
no, we don't.
People are elbow shoulder to shoulder and they're like fighting to get in the door.
Yeah.
And the doors swing open and everyone's running and stomping on each other. I did that one time. Like,
I've never been.
Again.
I've never wanted something that much.
Yeah.
I wanted that crock pot, dude.
I don't stand in lines like ever. I think did we talk about my impatience this episode?
Yes.
Yeah, I cannot. If there's more than 3 cars in the drive-thru, I'm not sitting in it.
Oh, you can't.
Unless it's in and out. Then I'll sit for In-N-Out.
In-N-Out's
But
different.
like if I like the Starbucks inside the grocery store, if there's more than 3 people, I'm not. No, I think the only thing I'll stand in line for is like rides at an amusement park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, we've stood.
I'll put my groceries back if the lines
I
are
was
too
going to
long.
say the only thing I've stood in line for is movies.
I just won't eat. I just won't eat.
Movies, like when Harry Potter first came out.
Movie premieres, and I have done book premieres, like, you know, which brings us to
yes,
our
it
next
does.
segment, which is Juan and Katie's book club.
That couch, the nerd
Like,
couch,
the nerd couch.
The nerd couch.
Actually, you're all nerds.
So, I'm reading the Britney Spears biography. So, is it an autobiography?
It's an autobiography, but it's
Okay.
read by somebody else.
Read-
Oh, you're reading it. You're
Wait.
reading it.
Yeah, I'm reading.
It's an actual book
But
too.
she
Yes.
bought it.
I mean-
she wrote it, right?
She
like
wrote
she,
it.
you
I'm
can
sure
tell.
okay.
You can tell.
Yeah.
I was like reading it, and I was like, you can tell somebody else, a professional, did not write this. It's a good book.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm like a little more than halfway through it right now, and I do like find it super interesting. I think too because like of all the like celebrities she's run into in her time, I haven't gotten to the conservatorship. Like I think I'm
Okay.
right before the conservatorship. Because she talked about like going to rehab, but she didn't have a drug addiction. She just like went because they told her it would look
Yeah.
good. And
Stupid.
so there's like you know, we can also cut parts of this out, but reading it, I was like, okay, she's not an incredibly smart person. You know, like when they were talking, when she was talking about like the, you know, like her filing for the divorce and then not realizing she was going to have to pay like her husband's divorce fees or lawyer fees. And then like, I mean, I know she, you know, like she was in like this heightened state, but then like locking herself in the room with a baby. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, you're making all these mistakes and you're just making it so much worse.
Yeah, I think like, well, obviously I'm obsessed. Britney Spears is my
Yeah.
number
she was
one.
a country girl.
Yeah,
No.
she was
Yes,
born
yeah.
in Louisiana or Mississippi, but then moved to Louisiana.
Yeah.
But it's like she started out so young, right? Her
Yeah.
parents wanted her to be famous from the start.
Well, and her
So,
parents
like-
had no emotional intelligence. So
Yeah.
like there was nobody to guide her. She was just totally in over her head with no help. Nobody was there to protect her, to guide her, to like teach her
Yeah.
anything.
So like no wonder like now where she's at now and like reading the book, you're like, this makes sense and I can see why things are the way they are
how
now.
it happened.
Yeah.
And it's sad though, you know, because that was my biggest takeaway is like it wasn't her fault that she like had, you know, like she made all these mistakes because I'm like there was nobody there to guide her or help her or teach her. Her parents just totally lacked. I mean, she talks about how her dad was abusive to her mom and an alcoholic and like all the, you know, and so like she just didn't get any of the stuff that she needed, the support and the, you know, like education that she needed to make those choices.
Yeah.
Nobody was there for her from the start. So then it's sad that like then her dad, I mean, like I said, I'm not there yet. It's just like what I know off the top of my head, right? Like about the conservatorship. So then this man who was like abusive and an alcoholic is now in charge of her as an adult.
Yeah. And make me money.
Yeah. And she was just supporting all of them. That's like also terrible. She was paying all their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then they like just
I
did
thought they
her
were
so
like rich
dirty.
people already.
No, they were poor.
They were poor as fuck.
Poor.
So when you see the dad, all that he is just
From her.
From her. Yeah.
damn.
So
Anyway, I can't imagine as a parent using your child like that. Like I think about some of like the YouTube
Happens
stars
all the time.
The YouTube kids and stuff. I'm like, damn, those poor things.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting read. I definitely think it's worth the read.
Yeah.
I only just say like you can tell she wrote it because I was like, this is not a professional author for sure. Well, and it's a little like sometimes I'm like, what age is she? And it's like a little like jumbled where I'm like, what time are we at right now? You know, so there was like a little bit of that, but it's still a really good story. Yeah.
There's this like
and really interesting.
There's this theory that like that child stars or like celebrities, they kind of mentally get stuck where they are when they become super famous. So like Britney Spears became super famous when she was 16. That's when Baby One More Time came out. So like I just think she's stuck in a 16-year-old mentality. People even say that about like Taylor Swift. Like Taylor Swift, she's fucking mid-30s now, but she's like, you know, like a lot of the stuff, she's an incredible songwriter, but a lot of the stuff is like a little immature. You know, because it's like she's stuck in that.
What she relates to, or what she, you know, like what she.
Michael Jackson got super famous when he was a child, and he kind of had that child.
Well, what do they have to draw from of normal, everyday things, except for at that age before they got famous? Because now, what are they? I'm so rich, I get to go wherever I want, whenever I want. Let me make music about that. Like it's unrelatable, right? So
that's why Andre 3000 stopped making music. He's like, what am I gonna rap about? Being 40.
So anyway, I do think it's a really interesting read, worth the read. I'm excited to finish it.
It's also, if you guys aren't readers, it's also a really good audiobook. Because that's how I listen to that's how I read. And Michelle Williams, the actress, actually narrated that book. And I think it's only like maybe 5 hours total as an audiobook. So it's like a one-dayer if you want. But it is a really good book, I think.
So I heard something super funny, and it was the name for like, you know, the books you guys been reading, like the fantasy, like romance stuff. I just heard it being referred to as, are you ready?
No.
Cliterature.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
This is a fine piece of
cliterature.
And you know what though? I be liking that cliterature. No lie.
Is that appropriate to say? Like it's a made up word, right? So like it's not a bad word.
Yeah.
No, it's just a body part.
I don't think.
It's a vibe.
Although in the books, I think they call it their apex.
What do they call their apex? Oh, when they're like
or like the like the apex
climb?
of like the center of their legs. They're like, oh, and then he entered my apex.
Oh,
like that's one thing about cliterature that I've noticed, that they like to say a whole bunch of. They use very interesting words to just say vagina. Just say his length. Like just say penis. Like I don't know. It's just, but then it's also people are like, because on Reddit I was reading all the Reddits and they're like, but it's a fantasy world and it doesn't sound fantasy. You're like, oh, and then my vagina, you know, like I was like, okay, I get it.
I get that.
They wanted to follow that same like flowy. And then I do want because I know we'll probably get into it, but your book. But I did want to touch on, because in one of our last videos, I had a book I was reading, The City of Stardust, and somebody commented on it. They were like, "Oh my God, is that The City of Stardust?" So I did finish that book a couple months ago. Really good read. For anybody who does it is like a fantasy type book, but it's nice because it's not a series, so it's just like a one and done. I love series, but sometimes I'm like, I don't want to wait for the next. I don't want to, and I had read like 3 to 4 series back to back, and I was like, I just want a one and done. And so it was a nice read for anybody who's interested. I liked it a lot, and it was very different.
So is
than
it like
what
a
you're
romance
used to.
or?
No. It does have like a little like bits of speckled romance here and there, but it's not. I would say like the main premise is like a girl or a woman like finding herself.
Okay, so it's not Literature.
It's not literature at all, not even in the slightest, but it is a fantasy book. And I thought it was like very beautiful moral. So I do actually recommend it. I thought it was a really cool book, really
City of
different,
Stardust?
really well written. The City of Stardust, very cool book. So
I was just okay. So the first thing I want to talk about is I was Googling a gay version of literature because I'm listening to this series called it's called The Puck Boys. So it's I don't know if I've mentioned it before. It's like a 6-7 book series, and it is based on hockey players. And every hockey, Puck Boys, yeah. And it's like it's like a person from this team and a person from this team, and it's an audiobook. And then they talk like this because they're manly men. And in the beginning, I was like, "This is weird." Yeah. But now, listen, I'm on the 6th book. And
now 35 hours later,
it is so good. It's so raunchy, and they use actual like descriptive words. They don't say like the length and the apex and my center. It's like
gay.
It's a gay.
So
smut.
they're like, go for it.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't need to be pretty for the ladies.
Yeah, I'll beep these out, but they're like, oh, and then he stuck his in my and he filled me up with this. Like it's just like it's very like that, and I'm like, all right,
Straight to the fucking point.
You're just grooming dogs.
So the guys in your mind though, do they have missing teeth?
No. No. Well, okay. So like they have a cover, and that's who I imagine whenever they
Fooling a hockey player.
Yeah. So it's like, and it's like, okay, oh my God, they're beautiful, and I like picture them the whole time.
It's fantasy hockey, Nathan.
Yeah, fantasy hockey, and then they
don't miss their teeth.
Book I believe 5 or 3 is based in San Jose.
With the Sharks?
But they don't say Sharks. So they don't say any of the actual hockey teams.
Well, that'd be copyright.
So then and then a lot of the players are like in the other books and stuff. So you kind of like build the world.
I like that, yeah.
And then there was like one right now, the one I just finished, we were in Seattle. And then like the guy he was talking to was wearing the Sharks, or no, the San Jose team one, because I like the colors. I like black and teal. So it's like, it's the Sharks. It's the Sharks.
You're like, it's definitely the Sharks.
Yeah. But I was like,
If you know, you know. No.
Yeah, because I've been reading a lot of female fantasy stuff, which that's the next series I want to talk about. Jovi, actually, because she heard that we were obsessed with Akatar, as another series by Sarah J. Maas, which is the author, and it is the Throne of Glass series, and that I think the series is maybe like 7 or 8 books as well, right?
Yeah, it's intense.
It's an intense series.
It's super intense.
So it's really cool. So there's like it's hard to talk about the book without giving spoilers because they all like build on each other.
They do. They build on each other.
So the first book I will admit is the Throne of Glass. To the it was a little hard to get into.
Yeah.
But once you hit like book 2, I think
Obsessed.
it's great. So because there's so many books in the series, there's a publication order, right? The author says actually read them this way, in this order, but then people like the super fans were like, actually no, read it in this order. So it's like, so I read books like 1 and 2, and then I read the prequel as a third one, and then I read the 4th one, and then right now I'm actually reading books 5 and 6 together.
Tandem.
So it's tandem reading. So I have a list that I'm like crossing off as I go, and it's like Tower of Dawn, chapter 1 and 2, and then Storm of Empire. I was telling Catalina, I'm going back and forth so much, I don't even know what book is what title is what. But it's like, it is so cool to listen to these books at the same time because the events are happening at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like people online were like, if you read this one all the way through and then you're going to read this one, it's like you kind of
it's like repetitive.
So I did it that way, and I meant to tandem read, but then I like got really into the book. And then I was like, fuck, I'm like 10 chapters in. And then I was like, well, now I can't go back.
Yeah.
And so then I do want to reread the series, though. And I want to read it in the like super fan order because it's so good.
Yeah. So if you're going to read the Throne of Glass series, you should read it the fan order, because that's what I did. And I'm so immersed right now, and it's so incredible. Jovi, thank you so much for recommending this. You had already read the series.
I had read it, and I just didn't realize you were done with Akatar already. And so, because Jovi was like, you haven't read it? And I was like, yes, I did. What do you mean?
Yeah.
And then she was like, you didn't tell Juan. And I was like, I didn't know he was ready for it.
It's so good. I'm already looking forward to Crescent City, which is the other series that Sarah J. Maas
Okay, so
wrote.
maybe we'll start at the same time because I have it and I keep going to read it and then I keep like putting it off. So maybe that's why I've been waiting for you.
Okay. Well, I'm in the middle of these two, and then I have to read the last one, and then I'll get to that.
No,
one.
you're fine. I have other books.
But I heard you guys are like, what is happening here?
No, it's
look
good.
so
It's good.
bored over there.
I'm enthralled.
I also heard that there's like, because it's the same author for these 3 series, is that like there's like Easter eggs from the other characters in Crescent City. So that's like, I want to read that one last so I can know who all these characters are before I get to that.
Yeah. Well, poor Nathan. I literally will like give him entire synopsises of books. Like I'll like whole hour. I'll be like talking to him for an hour about it. And he'll sometimes mid book. So then he'll like ask me follow-up questions later as I'm reading.
I like listening to you talk, so it's okay.
Good.
Well, good, because she talks a lot. So good.
Mm-hmm.
You have no choice. But I love reading. I'm such a reader now. It's incredible. I'm so smart.
Well,
Yeah,
I really do like it though. I really do.
Well, I
I
think
love it. Yeah.
the listeners, right? If you guys like this, let us know what books. Like, give us
Yeah.
some-
Yeah, let us know if you like it. Let us know if you're reading something interesting or if you've read any of the books we talked about. So, anyway, do you want to do your crazy story or do you want to cut it since we're already deep in and we can push it?
We could cut my crazy story.
Okay.
There'll be more.
Yeah, I have so many.
It'll come up later.
I could give a quick one. Did I tell you guys about the dog I had on here? About the dog, the pit bull I had. That
I don't think that doesn't sound familiar to me.
Okay, so a dog. When I was in junior high, my neighbor behind me he had a dog that he did dog fights with. So this is when old Newark. It was like and that was like a common thing that happened back there. And I'm looking over the fence at this dog, and this guy's like beating the crap out of this dog, right? And I go, "What are you doing?" Right? Like, what's going on over there? And he's like, "Hey, do you want this bleep 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 dog?" And he's like, "If you don't want it, I can't." Like, it was beyond its. It didn't want to fight no more.
Aw.
And he's like, "Either you take it, or I'm gonna take it into the field over here and shoot it." And I'm like, "All right, I'll take this. Yeah, I want the dog." So I take this dog, and he was like the biggest, like craziest, meanest looking pit bull. Scars all over his face, but he was super loving. Like he just wanted me to love him, and so like obviously my mom didn't want me to have dogs. We lived in this is a time when I had an apartment, and they let me, so I had to keep the dogs secret, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were feeding him, and I had him in the backyard for a couple days, but it was a shared backyard with other people in the apartment, so like it just wasn't gonna work.
Yeah.
And I was able to get away with it for like 4 days until my mom finally found out, and she's like, "We can't keep this dog." And I'm like, "We have to, like I can't give up this dog." And she's like, "Nathan," she was right. I couldn't keep the dog, right? And she's like, I know you love the dog." I'm like crying, and I'm like,
How old were you during this?
I was in junior high, so I don't know, 11, 12, something like that. And I'm like, I can't give this dog up.
Yeah.
And she's like, but she's right, In hindsight, she's right. And she called the pound, and and they came, and I'm hugging this dog, and I'm like sobbing.
Yeah.
I don't even remember his name.
Mm.
It might have been actually actually it was Chomper, I think. It was just the name I gave him because he didn't really have a name.
Yeah.
And I'm hugging him, and I'm telling him goodbye, and I know he's gonna be euthanized in the shelter. And in hindsight, I'm like, dang, there was rescues and stuff. But I didn't know about any of that. I didn't know anything about dogs at all.
Yeah.
Well,
So I was just doing what my mom was telling me, and they put him in the car. They grabbed him with the pole. He's in my arms, and they're still putting the pole thing around his neck and leading him into the thing with the pole. And I just remember thinking, like, just be nice to him. He just like he's not, And then I said goodbye to him, and that was my first dog.
Yeah, that's your first dog?
Yeah, that I remember ever like taking care of and stuff. Yeah,
That was super depressing.
Yeah, that was very depressing. Thank you, Nathan.
You're welcome.
But I'll never understand dog fighting.
No,
I don't either.
I don't, or like cockfighting with the roosters. Like I don't.
I'll never understand the like need to fight animals against each other for
Like
entertainment.
you box. You
Yeah.
adults.
Yeah. Consenting adults, Yeah. So it definitely, obviously, I know, like, you were right? Like, you guys wouldn't have been able to keep it. Your mom wasn't wrong. I mean, you guys were home, you were like always in and out of homes.
Yeah,
so it was
and
only
they
a
didn't
matter
allow
of
dogs at the
time.
apartment, and like,
well, especially a pet.
Yeah.
It was only a matter of time before, like,
In all fairness,
it was gonna have to go
but in
somewhere.
hindsight, I think,
he's
like,
better off.
in hindsight, I thought like I loved him a lot, and I
in
gave
that
him a
short
lot
time
of
that you had
kindness.
him.
Yeah, I gave him a lot of kindness, and I loved him, and I feel good about that.
Yeah.
He got to feel love before he left, at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
It's like all he wanted. That's all he wanted.
yeah,
And you gave it to him.
yeah. He was like a big me. Like if you think of a
Big blocky.
like the
head.
fighting pit bulls aren't big blocky. They are, but they're not like super muscular. They're more wiry.
well, because they have to be agile.
spry, yeah, and
they
like-
can't be like, I can't move.
Yeah, so it looked like
yeah,
a
it's not
dog.
those frog ones.
Yeah, it was a dog that like if it wanted to, it could just have its way with you. But he was, I hope I gave him a good couple days.
Well, I'm sure you gave him peace.
Okay, now.
And that was a
Weird-
Nathan's
okay,
crazy story.
That's what we
need
talked about.
depressing.
Okay, so I was truly racking my brain about something like just crazy and
Didn't
not
we
like
discuss
sad.
one the other day?
We
What?
did, but we'll worry about that another day.
Wait, what?
This will be a regular segment. No,
Oh.
it's just a story.
Oh, okay. Now we're gonna talk about like crazy or weird customer things, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like my dog hung his head out the window on the way here and's mad at no.
Yeah, we have a gate outside of our salon, and we're gonna try to get this on video, but it's like a black, like, we have a gate that goes around our front door, and it's like black cast iron like gates, and
Like
there's
fencing.
Like
and-
fencing, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a gate in the middle, or fencing, yeah, and there's a gate in the middle that's made out of wood, so you can clearly see like this is
It's
where you
the
go
door.
in and out.
You mean that's the door. There's
the
like
door,
a wood
yeah.
door, and there's two planters on either side wood planters on either side of the door, and then the cast iron fence comes out of that.
Mhm. And
it's the
every
only part that's
single
different.
day, somebody walks up to it and starts to try to take apart the fence to get in because
The
they
cast
just
iron
they just
fence.
can't figure out where the door is, and they're just like taking apart the fence.
Well,
The people have ripped the
Yes.
screws off the planter
Planter.
box and opened it through there.
They opened the metal.
Yeah,
The metal
we've
one
even
right
had
by
people-
the planter.
We've even had people walk in through the gate, like normal part of the gate, and then on their way out, they're like confused, trying to take apart the fence to get out.
Well, and the
Like
funniest,
you just walked in through the gate.
I think they
You
usually
walk out
follow.
through-
Those people usually follow someone in though.
but the funniest part is the door, or like the door into the gated area is right in front of the stairs to go up into our building. So it's not like we put the door to the gate in an odd place. Like it literally, you open it and walk straight up
Up
into
the
our
sta- yeah.
salon.
Yeah.
So it's not like
Different
you
color.
have to turn and it's literally wood, like wood colored wood, two planters with a door in between the two planters, and then black cast iron fence. And people every day. Sometimes people will circle the building looking for a way to
shake
get in.
the fence, the whole
sometimes
fence.
they'll go and shake the fence.
And then they just walk right past the planters.
Yeah, I've seen people walk from one side of the
It's one of those
cast iron to the
head
other side of the
Banging
cast iron.
moments.
But it's clearly a gate that opens
It's so
clearly
clear.
there.
Well,
Yeah,
it doesn't have a
yeah.
handle on either, and that throws a lot of people
But
off.
doesn't it kind of have like a
It
like
literally
a
It has a
flat
looks-
on
top, yeah.
Yes, it
That's the
looks
gate.
like a half door. It
Yes.
literally looks like a half door because it is a half door. Like it's
But
wild.
like people, like you just have to push it to go in.
yeah,
But people will be like leaning over it and trying to look for a handle, and they can't.
like just push it. A lot. I
Push
like.
it real good.
Just push it real good.
Katie,
Yes, I
likes
can.
to, Katie likes to let him go, and me and
I-
Nathan will shout through the window. The wooden gate, the wooden one between
from the green
between
room?
the planters.
Yeah.
I like just watching and seeing how long it takes. Like I'll just stand in the window and watch, and they can't stand it. They're like,
No, because I
right
have to
there,
put the fence
right
back together.
there.
People have ripped the screws out from the fence,
planter.
out of the planters that it's attached to so many times that they're just kind of in there now. So like if I don't get on it quick and tell them how to use a gate, then they're gonna take apart the fence.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to put like an open here.
Actually,
No,
I should.
I've contemplated. I've told Katie we should, and she's like, no.
I enjoy it.
we have a camera in the front, and a couple times. No, actually, it was one time. We haven't look at the camera in so long. Like there might be more. But we have a bar right down the street, and a guy like in the middle of the night walks in, comes into our area. He pushes because the gate's a push gate, so he pushes his way in, and then he gets stuck in there. He's just in there. He's in there for like He's trying to figure
at least an hour.
He's trying to figure his way out, and then he just stands there, like wobbling around for like 15 minutes,
and then he sits down.
And then he just gets up and goes right out. Like all of a sudden he remembered, like, oh, pull. And then because now he has to pull, right?
Yeah.
But super drunk guy.
It was so funny, really funny.
Super tall that he couldn't like climb.
No,
but he was way too
really
drunk. And it was an older guy.
Okay.
You know, he's like like the old man at the bar. It was that guy.
He was like always red.
Yeah, always red.
Our neighbor's dog also got stuck in there, but I mean, he's a dog. But his dad had
Dogs
to come
can't pull open, yeah. So.
Yeah, but it was just funny because he's one of those dogs. He's a husky and he just wanders around, but he likes to come pee on our stuff. And so he came over, pushed his way into the gate, peed on everything, and then he was stuck. And then he's just like, oh.
That's Halloween. He doesn't come in like that no more.
No.
That was the one and only time he did that.
Yeah, he learned from his mistakes.
He was like, never
but
again.
we will have clients come back a second time or to pick up their dog and not remember how to get in.
Yeah. Like sometimes I'll look and I'm like, that person's definitely been here before. Like, I don't understand. But anyway, something that happens to us a lot, and I think that it happens in a lot of salons, is leaving the front door open.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. Like, it's literally a dog salon with dogs being worked on actively, and people will just like come in, throw the door open, leave it wide open, and then, usually we'll come up into the lobby and be like, oh, can you shut that? Because like,
or sometimes we will walk out and shut the door behind them because they're like,
yeah, sometimes they just leave and they leave it wide open. And I'm like, dude.
Do the customers come in into your place or do they
Not
go
anymore.
out?
When I had a storefront in Santa Clara, they would do that all the time.
I just don't get it. Like, and sometimes when I ask people to close it, they look at me like,
you're evil.
like I'm the worst person in the world. And I'm like, I don't want any dogs to escape. Can you please?
It's honestly pretty mind-boggling. You're
well, there will be one of our groomer's dogs sits there on the couch, and he'll be sitting on the couch. And sometimes he'll get up and go outside and pee, and there'll be like,
yeah, and they just watch him walk out. And I'm like, it's a good thing that's like one of our dogs, and not, we trust this dog's, and he
just goes out there.
He literally
and
goes out and pees and comes back, or sometimes he'll sunbathe out there. But I'm like, how do you not know? Like, that could have been a client dog, and you just literally watched it walk out with not even a care or a thought in the world. Like,
some clients will know, and they'll like try to block the door. But
but those aren't the clients that walk in and leave the door wide open.
Yeah. That's a knucklehead moment.
Do you remember at PetSmart we had to ask those like 4 questions? I was like, flea preventative and all that stuff.
Pregnant nursing, yeah.
I remember clients would always be like, oh, my dog doesn't go anywhere, so he's not on flea prevention.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
but
you're here now.
Mm-hmm. You walk through the store.
And then they're like, oh, I never really thought of that. Or like, my dog doesn't leave the house at all. And it's like, oh, so do they go potty inside the house? Like, oh no, they go outside to potty. I was like, so they do leave the house.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how, like, you're literally at a grooming salon
with your dog,
and you can't tell me he doesn't go anywhere. You are here now.
You went into a pet store.
I don't like, how does that not connect?
Well, we do get that still at our salon
also,
from
like,
time
why
to
even
time.
ask the question then if that's the case, right?
Well, people would be like, well, my dog doesn't go anywhere, so I don't understand how this, such and such thing happened. And I'm like,
how I got fleas.
Yeah, and I'm
do
like,
you have a backyard?
You walk? Do you ever take your dog out for a walk ever?
Do you go outside?
Do
you
yeah.
bring fleas into your home?
You can't guarantee that there's no wild critter ever walking through your backyard. So, like,
or a stray cat sleeping on your doormat, or on your furniture in your backyard.
Never thought about
we had a client at our shop that said, "Oh, my dog's an indoor dog, unless he goes outside." Thanks for that. Thanks for that.
I had a client
I would love
once
that.
ask, what did they do in the wild?
Yeah.
Because it was matted and had to be shaved.
Yeah.
But what would they do in the wild? It was like a little Bichon mix.
Yeah, this was like forever
Well,
ago
I remember
at
she
PetSmart.
asked, like, what about the wild Bichon?
What about the wild
She
Bichon?
was dead serious.
And we all kind of looked at each other like, what? And then we're like, these dogs don't live in the wild. We bred Bichons.
Yeah, we made them.
We made Bichons. They were what?
It's one of those moments where you're like frozen because you don't know what to say.
Yeah.
So these are the clients that when you watch those infomercials about organizing your Tupperware lids, those are the people who are like,
Did you say Tupperware?
Tupperware lids?
Tupper.
Isn't it Tupper?
Yeah, TUPPER.
That's the Tupper.
They're little tubs.
Okay, I'll allow it. That makes sense.
But anyways, have you seen those
Kat says stuff, so I just like, yep. Podcast.
I have an accent sometimes. But the infomercials, have you seen them? They're like, to help you organize your lids, and they're all like, they're like falling out of the cupboard, and they're like, they get like buried under.
Or
them.
the egg, like they're like trying to cook an egg, and they're like flinging it in the air, and you're like, what the hell?
I love those
Who cooks
corny ass
like that?
infomercial like fails
Who
or whatever.
does that?
Or the hose they can't untangle, and it's like barely, and they're just like, they're like,
Oh my God, that's a good idea for a reel. We got to make some of those.
Okay.
But
Like fake infomercials?
Yeah,
the
like
people
someone,
in infomercials.
do you not be able to brush your dog? And they like try to brush their dog and hit themselves in the face. Or something.
Go
But-
to the dog groomer.
I was like, those people don't exist when I watched this when I was a kid. But I was like, I
They
think they
exist.
do.
They exist. The older I get, the more I realize
I'm one of those people.
not everyone
the
is
brightest
smart.
bulb.
No,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah. So yeah, it was definitely. There's been a lot of things over the years, but that one always stuck with us.
It sticks with every time. Well, what would they do in the wild? Well, and I can just imagine this little pack
Packs
of
of
matted
Bichons.
Bichons around.
We're like, oh, they just like chew each other's hair off. I don't know.
I wish I was witty like that and could have come back with something like that. Oh, they just gnaw their hair off.
I think the silence is more potent.
I'm pretty sure we all just kind of stood there and looked at each other for like a couple.
You don't
like,
wanna be rude,
30
right? You're
seconds,
like-
and then I think that we were like,
He has to be
well,
shaved.
Bichons are not a wild dog, so like we bred them. They don't exist in the wild.
I definitely don't think they would exist. If humanity ended, Bichons would end with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the long hair dogs.
Mm.
Scotties, I think, would be fine.
Well, Scotty's
Because they're literally the hand stripping is from their hair being plucked out from
Like brush and shit, right?
and underbush.
yeah, but their
So
hair
they would
doesn't.
just pluck it
yeah,
all
but-
out, and then they just continue hunting rats and eating them. And
Yeah, but what I mean is like their hair doesn't just keep growing. It's
okay,
the one
okay,
length
okay.
and then stops.
so you mean like Maltese, Havanese, poodle?
Yeah, poodles, all the ones with like an indeterminate hair length will just.
They
They're like-
definitely would just get mad. Like they'd
Mad and
go
their
and
limbs would fall off.
they'd go and go and go until they were just so mad that they
Solid.
couldn't move anymore, and then they'd just like,
That's
Like those
terrible.
sheep. Have you seen like 70
Yeah.
pounds of wool or whatever? It's
dude,
like, they
some of those
barely-
are crazy.
and they're just like on their side waiting to get shaved.
They're like, please, Lord, save me.
Please help me.
Did you see the one that got like lost in the like?
Yeah.
And then, the
I think
Shrek
that's
or
the-
whatever.
maybe the one I'm
That's the
talking
one.
about.
Yeah. And he's like, you couldn't
Help
see his
me.
face, and he was just like
He's like, help me.
Yeah.
crazy.
Like mummified and its stuff.
Well, they wouldn't be around either because we bred
No.
them to be like that.
Yep.
Same, yeah. So
Good
you know,
old
humans. Yeah, humans be humaning. We're like, hey, this animal looks like it needs me for the rest of its existence.
perfect. That's the way I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, but any other crazy stories?
I mean, there's a
Everybody
lot
fine?
of them, but this
A lot.
episode, I think we could wrap it
Yeah,
up,
I think
right, guys?
I think we
Yeah.
can wrap it up.
All right, so another
wrap it up.
wrap it.
we say another thank you to our sponsor for this episode, Aeolus. Check out their website; they got so much great stuff in there. I guess that's it, right?
Yep.
We'll catch you
I
next
guess
time.
we'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.